is nothing. It's a framework, right? So if, for example, over here, I'll just ask you, framework is basically the boundary, right? And everything will be done inside. For example, if this is a photo frame, this photo frame means everything will be inside this frame only. For example, if your photograph is coming out, this will be rejected. Like this is the frame, so your photo should be inside the frame, right? So similarly, economy is basically a framework within which economic activities. Okay, this is a, for example, this is the earth. In there, over here, this is India, this is Australia, this is America, this is Saudi. So many countries are there, right? So this area is of India. So this is a framework and this is a boundary that this is the Indian economy, right? In the Indian economy, what will happen? There will be activities like production, consumption, and capital formation will be taken place, right? Production is I will be producing something. Consumption is I will be consuming something. And capital formation means I'll be producing, I will be making a capital. Capital means, for example, I made a hospital. That is not production. That is capital formation. Okay. Because from that, I will be generating revenue. But for example, I just made a you can say a cake. I baked a cake. So that is a production, right? But capital formation is like I just made a hospital, I just made a road and all that, industry, mall, a shopping complex, so many things. So that is basically the capital formation. So what is economy? Economy is a framework, okay? Within which what is happening? Economic activities, what? Production, consumption and capital formation, they are being undertaken. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Okay. Now coming to economics. Economics, sometimes students get confused. Economy and economics, right? So economy and the economics, they are different. Economics is a subject, right? So when you were in 10th class, right now we are doing for 11th standard, so I'll considering you as an 11th student. Okay, I won't be going to 12th, right? So when you were in 10th class, so there was a subject economics as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So it was under which category?
Social science.
Yes. So similarly, economics is a branch of, for example, this is social science. One branch is your economics, right? So what is economics? Economics is a branch of social science. And now what you are going to study over there? You are going to study about the human behavior in relation to what? Of course, you will study my behavior, right? It's basically human behavior means that, for example, if the prices of chocolates are coming down, so at that time, what a human being do? He will purchase more or less?
More.
Yes, that's the human behavior, right? If the prices are too high, then what human being will do?
Purchase less.
Less, right? So basically, where you are studying all this? In English, in mathematics, in science? No. In economics, you are studying all this, the human behavior, how he will behave or how she will behave in relation to the resources, right? First of all, his need, his wants, and the scarce resources. See, you have very limited resources in your country, right? It's not like that you can do this, everything. Even coming to career option also, you cannot become doctor, engineer, the civil servant and the teacher at the same time, right? You have to choose one only, right? So similarly, for example, if you have a piece of wood, right? This is a resource. From this piece of wood, you have only one single piece of wood. It's your choice what you want to make. Whether you want to make a bed, whether you want to make a sofa, whether you want to make a study table, whether you want to produce a pen, wooden pen. Okay, it's your choice basically, right? You cannot produce everything because you have very limited resources. Okay, but remember one thing, this is basically the nature of resources. Though resources are very limited, but you can see this is a single resource, but it has unlimited alternative uses. It can be used to make bed, it can be used to make study table, chair, so many things, right? So the resources, they are very scarce. But the only thing that makes them scarce is they have unlimited, or you can say alternative uses, right? So this is what you study in economics. First of all, what is economics? It's a branch of social science which studies what? Human behavior in relation to what? In relation to the wants. Of course, what I want. For example, tomorrow is my exam. So at that time, I don't want bed. I don't want chair. I just want the wooden pens so that I can write in my exam, right? So it's my want in relation to the scarce resources, okay? And plus that whatever resource I'm choosing, that resource has alternative uses. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But now, whenever we do something, there comes a problem. Yes or no? There comes a problem, right? So in
Yes.
economics, when there comes a problem, that is economic problem. Okay. So the problem of making a choice among different alternative available is called economic problem. Meher, I know that you have to study a lot of things. So what I will be doing, I won't be asking you to make notes. I'll be sharing you the PPT. Whatever I'm explaining now, I'll just share you this so that you can read it. Whenever you want to read it, just give it a reading. Because they will be asking you the core question, the high level, everything. Because if you are giving the entrance exams, that means you should know each and everything about economics. It's not about that there will be few teachers that will be giving you 100 MCQ that read them. But that won't be sufficient because they can ask you anything. Right? So
Yes, ma'am.
we will be studying like we are in the 11th standard and we are doing it the very first time and we will be studying each and everything. Okay. Though it will take time, but the probability of clearing the exam with a very good number. It's not about passing, it's about getting a rank. So you should know each and everything. Okay. All the cross question, everything, we will try to figure it out and we'll try to make it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now in economics, what is the problem you face? Basically, the problem is over here. You saw, I just gave you so many options. Here, you want to produce bed, you want to produce chair, you want to produce table, you want to produce wooden table, you want to produce study table. What you want to do, right? So you've got confused that, oh God, what should I do, right? So that is your problem, right? So in economics, the problem of making a choice, right, among different alternative available is called the economic problem. Getting the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So what is economic problem? The problem of making a choice. When you are unable to make a choice, see, you want bed as well as you want study table. You want both now, you cannot compromise, but you have to make choice because you have very limited resources. Right? So this is what economic problem is all about. So quickly, just give it a reading. I'm just sure you can see the screen. Just give it a reading on your own. And once you are done, let me know. Then we will move to next slide. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry. Now coming to the central problems. Okay. So over here, why I have mentioned central problem, why I have not mentioned only problem, right? So why? Because central problem, the C stands for common. Okay. So see, as I told you, in the entire world, in the entire earth, we have different economics. One is the Australian economy, Indian economy, this economy, that economy, right? But what are the central problem? So the common problem which have been faced by all the economies are known as central problem of an economy. So these are some common problems, no matter whether you are a developed country or a developing country or an underdeveloped country, right? Everyone faces this problem, right? So it's like, for example, when a question paper comes, right? In mathematics, in math paper, usually paper students like 98% students face like they are like rushing because they feel like it's a lengthy paper and they won't be completed on time, right? So this is basically a common problem which each and every student, no matter whether you are a topper or a average student or a below average student, everyone faces this issue, right? So similarly, central problems are those problems which all the economies in the world, no matter whether what they are, everyone faces the problem. Okay. Now these problems are this: what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. The problem is again you have to make a choice. What to produce? You have so many options with you. How to produce? There are different techniques. For whom to produce? Again the problem. Okay. So over here, let's just take an example of a home. It's your home, right? Your mom is there, your father is there, and your brother is there, and you. You four people are there, right? So your mom is in the kitchen and she's asking you people what to produce, right? You said that, mom, I just want burger. Your father said he want pizza. So you just like and your brother said that he also want burger, right? So you people like right now, your mom has to produce two things. One is the burger, two burgers, and one your pizza for your father. Okay, this is what. So for first, she was very much confused what to produce, right? But now you people gave the option that mom, I want this, I want this. So the problem got solved. Okay. Now the problem is, see, if you want to make pizza, for example, pizza have different ways to produce it. The baked one, the thin slice, so many things. The cheese one, the burst cheese, so many flavors are there and so many options are there, right? So again, she got a problem that now how to produce it, right? Whether you want the pan fried one or the microwave one, like she got confused again. So again, she got a problem how to produce it, right? And then once she produced it, now she has to decide it. Okay, burger was for you and your brother. So she will be serving it to you and your brother, right? And the pizza was for your father, so she will be giving it to you. So for whom to produce? So burger, she has to produce, like she has to cook it for you and your brother, and pizza she has to cook for your father, right? So this is the problem she was facing, and somehow she was clearing it up. First, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's just understand one by one. First, the thing is that, ma'am, okay, why cannot, like for example, over here you want you want burger, you want pizza, you want pasta, everything you want to eat, but not everything can be produced at a time, right? So the question is that why these problems are coming? Why mom cannot cook everything? See, she has very limited resources and the limited time. She cannot cook everything for you, right? So similarly, the first question comes, why the central problem arises or the economic problem arises. So first thing is scarcity of resources. In the kitchen, she don't have everything, right? She don't have pasta, she don't have bun, she don't have pizza base. There, like if you want to eat something, she should have the material with them. But the problem is scarcity of resources. In the kitchen, we have very limited resources, right? And even in the economy, if you want to produce everything, then we cannot because we have scarcity of resources, right? So scarcity of resources means availability of resources in relation to is scarce in relation to its demand. This is very, very important concept. Okay. Most of the students feel like that what I have written over here, that scarcity of resources means that resources are not available, right? But listen to read this line in relation to its demand. For example, I have two apples in my shop. Okay, two people came to me. I gave them this two. So over there is no scarcity of resources. But if four people came to my shop and they demanded four apples, I had only two apples. So this situation is, in this situation, I can say I have a scarcity of resources, right? But the same two apples, if only one consumer will come or one person will come to my shop, there are no scares. So when in relation to its demand, the availability of the resources is less, that is known as scarcity of resources. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. I understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So relation to demand is very, very important. Until and unless, for example, I said Mihir has 10 apples. I cannot tell you whether they are scarce or not. Why? Until and unless I don't know the demand. Right? So scarcity of resources means resources are available in less quantity in relation to its demand. Okay. And this is, sometimes they ask you in one marker, what is the root cause of economic problem? Why your mom didn't cook everything? Because the problem is we have very limited resources. So this is the root cause. Okay. But remember one thing, the commodity in short supply cannot be called scarce if it has no demand. For example, rotten apple. I have only two rotten apples, right? So at that time, can I say that I have very scarce resources? No, right? Because nobody will purchase rotten apples, right? So their demand is zero, right? So no matter whether I have one rotten apple or the stale vegetable, right? If nobody is demanding it, that means I don't have the scarcity of that particular resources. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, second, the first, we are reading the causes or the why economic problem arises. So first problem is, sorry, scarcity of resources. Second is wants are unlimited, right? Human wants are unlimited. Like as you said, I want pasta, I want pizza, I want burger, so many things, right? So your wants are unlimited, right? But that cannot be fulfilled at one go, right? So it's like human wants are recurring. What is recurring? It's repeating. For example, today you are like that, mom, you went to a shopping complex. You are like, mom, I just want this t-shirt. Just allow me to purchase this, and once I'll purchase this, I will never ask you anything. This is what we do in our childhood, right? That, okay, I just want this, and after this, no more demand, right? But once we get that product, next day, once we saw something else, we like this one as well, right? We feel like we want this as well, right? For example, the clothes. Today you purchase something. So for the upcoming 20 years, you won't be purchasing anything. Of course you will, na? As soon as your one demand gets satisfied, another demands will come out, right? So human wants are recurring in nature, right? So this is very human psychological behavior it is. For example, right now you are craving to eat chocolates. You eat a lot of chocolate. Now you are like, I'm done. I won't be eating anything. But after some time, you feel like that I want to eat something spicy. So you just ordered some noodles, right? So this is basically the thing. This is based on the human psychological behavior that as soon as one want is satisfied, right, new want will take place. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. But remember one thing, there are some basic needs like food. Everyone needs that. Water. Everyone needs that. Shelter. Everyone needs that. But there are some other wants that grow according to our income. For example, over here, see, you need to travel from one place to another. So you want to have a car. So you just bought a simple Maruti Suzuki car. Simple car. Right? That was decent enough, because at the time you were earning 1000 rupees per month, so you were like, I just needed to travel. But once you got a hike, you got a good job, now you are earning 1 lakh rupees per month. So over that time your demand will be increasing according to your income. Now instead of purchasing this Maruti Suzuki, you will go for Mercedes, you will go for Audi, the luxurious car, right? So this is what. So some wants are like, basically they are basic to everyone, right? No matter whether I'm earning 1 lakh rupees or I'm earning 1000 rupees. My basic need is I want food, I want water, and I want shelter. These are the basic things, right? But once my income will increase, my comfort level will increase. Now, instead of traveling from auto or the cabs, I would like to have my own car, right? Instead of sitting in a 2 BHK uh, house, I would like to sit in 3 BHK or 4 BHK, right? Instead of having a cooler in my room, I would have to have AC in my room, right? So these are basically the wants are unlimited, right? They are, see, even if you're traveling with Maruti Suzuki, the normal car, you can travel, na? You have to visit the place only. It will also the same thing. But the only thing is that according to your income, your want increases because your income is increasing, right? So these are the types of want. One, the basic, and one that grows with your income. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the third reason is resource have alternative uses, right? That's why also the economic problem arises, because people get confused what to do because they have so many options, right? For example, if you are visiting to purchase a t-shirt, a good t-shirt, when they will give you a lot of options, you will get confused what to purchase and what to not, right? And similarly, for example, I've had thousands of questions. You will get confused. What is important and what is not. Similarly, over here, resources have alternative uses, right? So resources have alternative uses. Therefore, a choice has to be made that how should this limited resources be spent in order to attain maximum satisfaction. See, for example, from the piece of wood, what you can do, you can produce a pen, right? Or you can purchase a bed. Okay. Tomorrow is your exam. So what you will choose, Meher?
And
Pen, right? Because at that time, this pen will be giving you the maximum satisfaction, right? Because if tomorrow you have your exams, like you need pen to write it down, right? So resources have alternative uses. Therefore, you have to make a choice in such a way, because you have very limited resources, so that whatever money you are spending, you get the maximum satisfaction from that. Okay, and because of this feature of, because resources have alternative uses, because of this feature, resources are all more scarce. So sometimes in one marker from here as well, you get a question that which feature of resources make it more scarce, right? So resource have alternative uses. This feature make it more scarce. Like that's why you can say there is scarcity of resources. Clear?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now Wants differ in intensity. The 4 point is their intensity is different, right? So some of our wants, like see, all of your wants can, as I told you, there are two types of want: the basic want and the one with grows with income. But as compared to the intensity means the need. For example, you need car as well as pen, right? Both are equally important for you. But tomorrow is your exam. So what is important for you? Right? That at that point of time, pen is more important to you, right? So over here, comparing your two wants, you have two demands. One is that you want car, one is that you want pen. So right now, more intense wants is pen because tomorrow is your exam and this is less intense. The car is less intense. So what you will be doing, you can postpone this car one, but you cannot postpone this pen one because tomorrow is your exam, right? So all wants are not of equal intensity, right? For example, some of our needs or wants are more intense other than others, which needed to be satisfied immediately. You need to satisfy them immediately, while the less intense sorry, it is not intended, it is intense want can be postponed. Clear? For example, right now you are not well. So for you, gaming is important or your medicines are important? Your medicines are important, right? But the gaming one you can produce, you can postpone it for later on. So again, so you can say sometimes you get a question like this as well: are all wants are of equal intensity or not? So no, they are not of equal intensity. They differ according to intensity. But remember, the more means that you want it, you cannot postpone it. The more intense one, you need to satisfy it immediately. The less intense one, you need to postpone it. You can postpone it for later on. Clear? May
Yes, ma'am.
clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, why central problem arises? First, scarcity of resources is there. Second, wants are unlimited. Third, resources have alternative uses. And the fourth is wants differ in intensity. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So, you will quickly read it up. Like the question is this. Quickly just give it a reading and then we'll move to the next topic.
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am. The first point. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done?
Done, ma'am. Done,
Oh.
done.
Now over here, there are some, this is in short, like what are the features of human wants? First, they are unlimited, they differ in intensity, they are recurring, right? These are the feature of the wants. And these are the feature of resources, they are limited and they have alternative uses. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just read it and now I'm just sharing you the next slide.
Done, ma'am.
Now we are going to study the central problems. Okay. So central problems, there are three central problems: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay. So the very first problem is what to produce and plus what in what quantity. Okay. For example, your mom got a choice that she has to produce burgers. So in what quantity? 2 burgers and 1 pizza. Right. So very first thing, you should know the name, the other name of the problem. Right. So this is what to produce is also known as problem of allocation of resources, right? That means, for example, allocation means, okay, if the burger is there, like I need to place the burger with this person. If pizza is there, I need to place this pizza with this person, right? So that is what. So the other name of what to produce problem is problem of allocation of resources. So you should learn this by heart, okay? So sometimes they will give you this, that what is this basically over here? It is related to the selection of good, right? That okay, if I need to purchase, if I need to produce burger, then I need buns, I need cabbage, I need tomato, I need this, right? So it is related to the selection of goods. Why you have to select good? Because as all goods cannot be produced because resources are limited, right? You cannot produce everything. You can produce only limited thing. Therefore, a choice has to be made in order to decide what good has to be produced, right? So therefore, your mom is deciding what she can produce with the resources which she has in the kitchen, right? After it has been decided that okay, she will be producing this, then she wants to know the quantity, right? The quantity of this good should be decided because resources are limited. Clear? So over here in an economy, there is, first of all, you have to make a difference between two things. One is the consumption good and one is the capital good. Consumption good is what we eat, like wheat, clothes. Not only eat, what we consume. Wheat, we directly eat it. Clothes, we directly wear it. So they are the consumption good. Okay. And next is capital good. They are basically that is going to help in further production. For example, I bought a printing machine, right? That printing machine, with the help of printing machine, I will be printing the books, right? I won't be eating the printing machine or I won't be making road chapatis over there, right? So printing machine is going to help in further production, right? So you have to make, see, you cannot produce consumption good and capital good both at a time because you have resources, very limited resources, right? So over there, you have to decide whether you are going to make consumption good or the capital good. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is whether you are going to produce civil goods or the goods. It's not eat goods is basically the other good. Okay. So over here, civil goods means like what the normal people need: watches, shoes, car, and all that, right? But the goods which the country needs, you can say the defense goods, right? Defense goods are basically the gun, the fighter aircraft, and all that. So you need to decide whether you want to produce the goods for the civil people, the normal people, or for the defense sector like the guns, the fighter aircraft, and all that, right? So always there is two choices, that you want to make consumption good or the capital good, or you want to make civil goods or the defense good. You have to make a choice every time because you cannot produce everything because resources are very much limited. Clear?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, the next thing is that, ma'am, how to produce, right? So, of course, there are different techniques that are available. So, you have to choose a technique, right? So, this is also called the problem of choice of technique. So, how to produce? What is the other name? The other name is the problem of choice of technique. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, there are basically two techniques. One is labor intensive and one is capital intensive. Labor intensive means you will use more of labor and less of capital. Clear? And capital intensive, you will use more of capital. More of capital means you will use more of machine, right? And less of labor. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So over here, see, for example, if you want to make a handicraft product, so over there, of course, you need labor because that is handicraft. You have to use your hand, right? But for example, if you want to dig a hole, right? You want to demolish a building, so you need a bulldozer, right? So you can use machine over there, right? You have to use your brain. See, the demolition of a particular building, laborers can also do it, but is it worth it? How? It will, it will be very, very, you can say, long lasting, sorry, not long lasting, time consuming, that human beings are doing that, right? So over here, you have to make a choice for this particular work, whether we need labor or whether we need a capital. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now over here, a choice has to be made whether to use labor intensive technique or capital intensive technique or the combination of both. So sometimes there are some work that need combination, right? For example, agriculture. Over here, you need machines as well as the human beings, right? So over here, you have to make a choice whether you will use capital intensive, labor intensive, or you will combine both and you will use the same thing, right? So over here, see, to produce, this is an example, to produce wheat, land may be cultivated with large amount of labor and less machine. So if you want to produce wheat, you want to do this agriculture, so land, you can cultivate the land, right? You can use large labor and less machine, right? Similarly, you can use very less labor and large machine, like many machine, right? So therefore, you have to decide what is beneficial for you. For example, I'm very poor. Not poor, like I cannot afford the machines. Labor are cheaper as compared to machines, right? I cannot afford the machines. That means that I won't be able to cultivate the crops. I can't. So I can use a different technique. But for example, I don't have time. Next, like after 1 week, I'm shifting to some other place and I need to cultivate everything before going to my other place. So over there, I will use machine and less of labor because for me that is more requirement because I'm going next week, right? So this is accordingly for which technique you have to use, you have to decide, and that's a problem. Now, for whom to produce, right? So this is also called the problem of distribution of national income among the factor of production. Now, your mom cooked everything. Now she has to distribute it. Burger to you, burger to your brother, pizza to your father, like this, right? So this is also known as distribution of national income among the factor of production. See, for example, I just made this hospital. Okay. In this hospital, I used labor, I used machines, and so many people, right? So over here, once this hospital has been made, I will be giving the income to the particular people. Yes or no? Right? So once I'm done with everything, like for whom to produce, I basically did all this. Now I'll be distributing the services and the money to everyone. The people who will be working in my hospital, everyone, everything I'll be doing, right? So over here, but see, for example, this is a hospital and this is a teacher. So I will be not giving money to the teacher. I will be giving money to the doctors, right? So over here, you have to determine who will be the final consumer. For hospital, who will visit? Students will visit. No, the patients will visit, right? But for example, I just constructed a school. Over there, who will visit? Students will visit, not the policemen or the doctors will visit, right? So over here, this problem deals with determining the final consumer of the good produced. Whatever good you produce, for who are the final consumer for that, right? As resources are scarce in the resource economy, it becomes difficult to cater to all the section of the society. You cannot cater all the people in the society, right? So therefore, you have to make a choice that, okay, this has to be done and these are the production functions. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. So basically, this problem deals with determining the final consumer of the goods produced. As resources are scarce in an economy, it becomes difficult to cater to all sections. See, you have very limited. If you are opening a hospital, you are going to open a hospital. You cannot open a school, hospital, everything in one go, right? So therefore, you cannot cater all the section. So therefore, you have to decide. Okay. For example, this is very important. This example. For example, essential goods and the services are in demand for all sections of society. right? But only certain section of a society have a demand for luxury commodity. See, over here, luxury products are also important, right? See, the basic fan, summers are going on, right? So fan is basically the need for everyone, no matter whether you are earning 2 lakh rupees or you are earning 1000 rupees, right? So every time, if most of the people are basically average people, right? Middle class family, right? So not everyone can afford the AC, right? So they want fan and the coolers, right? So if government will always produce fan and cooler, and they will never produce the AC, it will be injustice for the rich people, because they, according to their income, they deserve to have ACs. Na? Nobody has stopped someone from working, right? So over here, but there is a ratio. If government will only produce AC, right? Then it will be a problematic thing for the middle class family, because not everyone can afford AC, right? So therefore, government always make a balance. Sometimes they produce luxury commodities, sometimes they produce the moderate commodities, right? So essential goods and services are in demand for all sections in the society, but only certain section in the society have a demand for luxury commodity. But like there are few sections which demand the luxury commodity. At the same time, choices of goods and services rest on prevalent taste and preferences in an economy. So over here, for example, right now summers are going on, right? So everyone is demanding the summer clothes, the shorts and everything, right? But when there will be winter, everyone will be going for the winter clothes, the woolen clothes, the coat, the hoodies, and all that. Right? So according to taste and preference, government produce. For example, in summer season, government is producing woolen clothes. Is it useful?
No, ma'am.
It's of no use, right? So say, according to the taste and preference, government also decide for whom to produce the thing. Hence, consideration regarding the social economic condition of a country or market are high pertinent to the problem. So over here, you have to consider the social economic condition of your economy, right? As well as what is prevailing in the market, and accordingly, you should solve this problem. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Okay. So now just a quick recap, and then you will just read it. So what to produce? This problem is also known as problem of allocation of resources. So over here you have to select all the goods, that okay, these goods and all need to be produced. The question comes, why you are selecting the goods? Because we have resources that are very limited, right? And once you decided that okay, I need to produce this, then you have to decide the quantities of those goods as well. Okay. Once you are done with this, then the second problem comes, that is how to produce. So basically you have, this problem is also known as problem of choice of technique of production. There are two techniques, labor intensive, capital intensive. So you have to make a choice whether you have to use labor intensive, capital intensive, or the combination of both. Okay, done with this, and then for whom to produce. Once this is done, this is also known as distribution of national income among the factor of production. You have to find the final consumer, right? That okay, these are our final consumer, we are going to produce for them, right? And because you cannot cater all the section of the society, so that's why you are going to find the final consumer who are in need, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you will quickly read it up, and then I'll review. So basically today we just completed the concept of what is the economics is all about and what is the central problem, right? So when we'll be meeting in like just read it and then I'll tell you what I have the plans.
Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay. So now, let me just share you a few questions so that you will get an idea. Though I won't be discussing it, but let me just give you some idea how question comes, and let's just discuss few questions. Okay. Mihir from next class, you will join on time because I don't know whether other people have the class. So in case they join, so we have to leave because maybe they'll be joining or some. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
So over here, which economist, I'll be sharing this link with you. So no need to write it down. But yeah, these type of questions will be coming, which I'll be teaching you definitely. Don't worry. Which economics divided economics with two branch of micro and macro on the basis of economic activities? Do you have any idea?
Ma'am, is it Marshall?
Okay.
Ayyo.
None of
Okay.
this. Why? Because nobody divided it like that. Everyone gave their own concept. Okay? Clear?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
This is a branch. So nobody divided it, became like that one. Right? So Marshall and all that, they gave the definitions.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah. I understood now. Fine.
Okay. So now, which of the following is studied under microeconomics? Okay, think. I think you are
Individual
closer.
unit.
Yes, individual unit. Why? Because in micro, that means what? That means individually we are doing, right? And the economic aggregate means you are going to mix it up. It's going to be macro. National income, national, entire national. So, individual. Hmm. We have a, no. This will be the part, individual unit. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the third one. Which of the following economic activities are included in the subject matter of economics?
Ma'am, C.
Yes. Why? Right now only we studied economic activities related to unlimited want and limited resources. So this is basically a subject matter of economics means in economics you are studying about the problems only, right? And the behavior of human beings in relation to the wants and resources. So all about these. Okay. Now coming to the next one, on which base structure of economic problem has been installed?
Ma'am, both A and B.
Yes. Because this is basically economic problem is all about we have unlimited wants, unlimited resources. Now this. Hmm.
Ma'am, Greek.
Good. Hmm.
All of these, ma'am.
Yes, correct. Right? Human wants are infinite, you know. Resources are limited, you know. Scarcity gives problem to both of this. Right? Okay. 7.
Ma'am, C.
Yes. See, you know this line feature of factors, right? Or the resources. Factors are the resources only, right? So they are limited as compared to bonds and they have alternative uses. Now, which is an central problem of an economy?
Allocation of resources.
Mm-hmm. And only one?
Ma'am, all of these. Sorry.
No. Only one. Why? Central problem is only allocations of resources. Optimum utilization of resources is like that. Just listen, think about it. I'm confusing you a little bit. Think. I want
Ma'am,
a
A.
final answer.
It
A.
is.
Okay.
Yes.
What is optimum utilization of resources? Think. That means you have different resources. You're going to use in a very good way, right? But that's not a central problem. This is only allocation of resources is a central problem. Clear? These are the problems, but not the central problem. Clear?
Yes,
Economic problem.
ma'am.
These are all economic problem, but not the central problem. I hope it's clear,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay. Which of the following is a type of economic activities?
Ma'am, all of these.
Production, consumption, and investment, right? Like investment is basically the capital formation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. To which factor?
Choice.
Yes, choice. You have to make a choice, and that's the problem. I told you. Whenever, as in the definition itself, there was written, right? When you have to make a choice, that means economic problem is there. Okay. This one I didn't taught you, but if you
All of
know,
these.
yes, it can be capitalist, socialist, and the mix, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Easy one.
Ma'am, mixed.
Yes. Okay.